Hey everyone, Sean here with Blue Ridge Silverhound, and in this video we're going to talk about probably one of the most rarest, most scarcest dimes that you probably did not know about. And check that out right on the screen. It's 2015. It was only 6 years ago that the U.S. Mint had released a set that received very, very little fanfare. You would have to be a fly on the wall to see who ordered this thing because there wasn't a whole lot of them that ordered back in the day. And we're only talking 6 years removed. But this is a 2015 Roosevelt dime. As a matter of fact, there's two of them with extremely low mintages on there. As you can see right on that text. 75,000 minted. Actually, that number is less than that. I simply rounded up to 75,000 because it sounded good. That's a low number right there. As a matter of fact, it is one of the rarest regular denominational U.S. coins since 1951. You would have to go back 70 years to find another coin with a lesser mintage than this one. As a matter of fact, it was the 1951 proof set in which only 57,500 copies of that particular proof set were ever produced by the Mint at the time. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is a coin that I'm bringing you some extra kind of data on, a little bit of extra information, because these things are disappearing. I've kept track of these over the course of the last 12 months. And these things are drying up, especially nice, high-graded examples. There's just not a whole lot of them out there. And really, I mean, all it takes is one spec buy, a buyout, a very calculated one, and a lot of these will disappear. Furthermore, to make matters worse for the folks that didn't get into it, they're going to get expensive. Fortunately, these coins are still semi-affordable, and I use the word semi, to kind of preface things in this video. So let's go ahead and get started with some of the actual information you need to know about. Okay, 2015. All right, it was a grand old year, 6 years ago. It didn't seem like that long ago. The U.S. Mint had released a 3-coin set called the March of Dimes. All right, so of course, they would throw in 2 dimes along with this 2015 silver commemorative, which is, I believe, a 999 fine silver piece. And then you had 2 Roosevelt dimes. You had a 2015 P reverse proof Roosevelt dime. All right, that was kind of a breakthrough back then. And you also had a 2015 W. You heard that right, a West Point proof Roosevelt dime. So the set was affectionately referred to as its stock number DM5 when it was first released. Here's a crazy part. This is how unpopular this set was. And I think the one glaring attribute about the set that really turned people off was that commemorative coin right in the middle. As you guys know, commemorative coins are really hit and miss in the grouping of the U.S. Mint product availability. Commemoratives get no love, all right? And then all of a sudden, when you have something that has a commemorative in it, it kind of outclasses the entire set. It makes the set incredibly bloated and expensive. I believe this was a set that at release was like $100 or more. I don't particularly remember it. I do know that I did not want anything to do with it because it had the commemorative. But these days, I'm kind of changing my tune a little bit because of the 2 little dimes, those 10-cent pieces sitting right next to it, are well worth the purchase. We will talk about later in this video how much these sets are going for on the secondary market in the event you wanted to buy some, because even these things are drying up as well. So the March of Dimes commemorative 3-coin set had well, I'll just go ahead and go to the next image. I'll get to all that data here momentarily. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So the 2 dimes that really make this particular set noteworthy today is going to be this one right here, the 2015 West Point regular proof. All right, this is not the reverse proof. Believe it or not, that was produced in Philadelphia. So it's the kind of like the merry-go-round of mid facilities being used for certain different types of strikes is a little mind-boggling. But here you go. Here's the West Point version, just a standardized proof with the frosty cameo devices. As a matter of fact, they're all pretty deep cameo, and there are none graded non-deep cameo, which would be a rarity in this instance. Getting to the actual mintage of both the West Point and this one is 74,430 total pieces were produced of each coin respectively. And again, that's a testament to how unpopular this particular set was. It's not like that they sold out. You know, if it was 2021, this product came out, people saw that it had these unique Roosevelt dimes. You better believe that they would sell out of all the max quantity of this set that they possibly can. But these dimes are pretty interesting in that you had a Philadelphia minted reverse proof. Generally, you're going to see that with a West Point strike or San Francisco. Very seldom do you see Philadelphia strike up some of these. So that's a little bit strange, and that probably adds to the allure of the coin. Even with its mintage, there's a lot to kind of like get captivated by with this particular coin. Now, as far as the facts, all right, we got it right here on screen. Mintage 74,430. That's tiny, and it's showing on the secondary market. Each coin is the old school 90% silver composition. Okay, they got that 10% copper in there as well. They didn't switch over to the 999 fine for these other coins like the dimes, quarters, and half dollars until 2019. All right, so that was the switch over. Stock number DM5 when it was brand new. And get that, look at that last line right there. They had reserved a total of 500,000 for the total mintage limit cap for this set. So ideally, you know, again, if it was 2021, ideally you would sell out of this, and that would be the actual mintage of the whole set of each coin respectively, unless the U.S. Mint decides to, you know, withhold, like say that commemorative coin for another set or a singular release, which they did. But yeah, that's pretty insane right there. I mean, it's a stark contrast to the actual mintage limit of each one of those dimes compared to the maximum like threshold. Like, hey, we're going to do up to 500,000, and then, you know, we're just going to go ahead and stop production at that point. It didn't even reach 100,000. So that's again another sign in which this is going to be a ridiculous coin for years to come, just based off of the merit of the mintage. The composition is quite unique for this, among a few other things. So those are a few kind of like interesting bullet points that I wanted to kind of throw out there for the coins respectively. Now, you could always go on eBay and attempt to find some of these coins. Okay, the secondary market of coins in general has been robust throughout the summer of 2021. I thought it would kind of dip down. It did in certain areas, but in other areas, not so much. The rarities are still achieving rarity type prices. To give you an idea, here are the most recent sales of a few raw examples. Okay, very rarely will you find raw examples of the singular coins on the secondary market. That would mean that someone had broken the set apart. They'd sell the commemorative up by its own. They would, you know, sell the dimes each on their own or what have you. They'll go ahead and grade them. You know the big idea there. But as you can see, the 2015 West Point regular proof dimes do sell for a little bit less money than the more interesting reverse proof that are minted in Philadelphia. So the West Point, the most recent, and I think only sale within the last 90 days, realized almost $40. That's what shipping combined. And this one right here, 50. All right. And then we also had a 2-coin set right here of one of each of the West Point proof and the Philadelphia struck reverse proof for $115, it looks like. That's with shipping combined. So again, do a 60-40 split. 60% of that value goes to the reverse proof. The other 40 goes to the other dime. But that's incredible that these coins are selling for this kind of money. It kind of makes you wonder how much those limited West Point Lincoln cents that were released in 2019 and the nickels are going to sell for in 5 years or 6 years. I mean, those are, they're unique coins with low mintages, not quite 75,000 or whatever it is. But again, that's a coin that I had talked about in a video earlier in the year as being a possible buyout spec type of coin because they are still relatively inexpensive. All right, so if you wanted to seek out some graded examples, all right, there's a few things you got to know, and it's going to sway the actual amount of money that you'll pay for these coins, regardless of grade. The ideal numerical grade that you want for this coin is going to be proof 70, and I'll get into that here momentarily as to why you want to target strictly proof 70s. And no, it's not the fact that there's only like a few dozen proof 70s on eBay as we speak, and that's like nothing. There's no inventory. We are like scraping the barrel for these things. But keep in mind, the grading examples, you will see both a first strike designation holder, and you will also see a plain, which doesn't have early release or first strike or first day of issue. The first strike, people had sent out these coins directly to PCGS, and as long as it was either boxed up in the original US Mint packaging or whatever, and sent to PCGS or NGC, it will receive the first strike designation. But that's only after, I believe, the first 30 days or something like that. I think that they might have changed their first strike designation policy for when you could send these to them. But this is right after release. Like, if you had a raw one today, you couldn't send it off to them and expect to get a first strike or early release designation on the holder. This is what the holder would look like if you just send it in today. All right, 6 years after release. It came out proof 70. It won't say first strike or anything like that. All right, so that's the PCGS holder. We also have the NGCs. They look very similar. They got Roosevelt's black and white photo, which I think is a pretty cool little image right there on the slab label. It's even got one of his famous quotes. But same thing. You'll see just the minor difference of the early release being notated on one of them. So again, this was sent to NGC shortly after release, and these two will exist out there on the secondary market. There's always going to be about a 10 to 15% premium for those graded examples, and it doesn't matter if it's a 70 or a 69 or a 68. Believe it or not, there's 68s out there for the early release or first strike designation. So keep that in mind. All right, so here is a roundabout look of the PCGS population figures as of July 26th. All right, that's today. For the 2015 West Point regular proof coins, in proof 70 deep cameo through PCGS, there are 747 at this particular numerical grade, and 69. There's nearly 3 times that amount at 2,252. Total across all grades, 3,092, and then here's the reverse proof numbers. Actually, it's a little bit closer together. The deep cameo 70s, 1,193, and the 69 decam 1,784. So not quite as big of a gap as the regular proof West Point coin. Total across all grades for the reverse proof, 2,999. I'd have to say there were even a few 67s that also made the cut, which is an abnormally low grade for such a high quality coin. But just taking a look at the overall discrepancies from 70 to 69 for each coin, this is the big reason why I'm telling you to target strictly proof 70s, because when you invest and you collect the lowest pop figures as high as you can, those are going to be the coins that will grow in value exponentially over time. Right now, they're still quite affordable. You could obtain some of these coins graded, even as a proof 70, for a relatively nominal amount of money. And here's what I'm talking about. We have a few coins graded. These are all proof 70s. We're not going to show any proof 69s or under. Those coins will typically sell for about 25% less than these proof 70s, but the coin on the left is an NGC graded. It even says early releases, proof 70 for $79.99. In contrast to the raw example that sold for $40, that's a heck of a deal right there. You had already purchased a graded coin. Someone had already taken the hit of depreciation and the cost of grading these coins. The run right down the middle is a first strike PCGS proof 70. It sold for $100. And now on the right side there, you have another first release. This is a proof 70. Now this one had sold June 29th. It's the oldest of the three for $45. So there you go. That is the regular West Point proofs, but keep in mind, there are less proof 70s through PCGS of this particular coin, but people want kind of like the neater effect of the reverse proof. All right. And that's why we're seeing a little bit inflated numbers for these particular coins in spite of the bigger population counts through the grader. We have on the left side there, the coin is actually backwards in the holder. That one is a proof 70 through PCGS. That one sold July 11th. So that's that was, I believe, the last recent graded example of a 70. That one realized $99. The coin right in the middle is an NGC proof 70, a non-early release coin. That one sold for $88.50. And then finally, the coin on the right is an early release, proof 70 through NGC, and that one, a best offer was realized, probably $85 to $90. That one sold on Independence Day. So, in case you're wondering if you wanted to get the raw 3-coin sets, here's how much they're selling for. And they are, quite frankly, all across the board, and the prices are inconsistent. The sale on the left is actually for 2 sets that realized $149. The set in the middle is a singular set that sold 3 days prior for $75. And then finally, that last one right there sold July 21st in the amount of $112.33. So there you have it. That is the 2015 rare Roosevelt dimes. They are going to dry up even faster. I would suspect after this video, people are actually going to go on there and pick up a few, whether it's some more economical proof 68s or 69s. I did the video on the 2020 West Point quarters last week, and now all of a sudden full rolls of those things have been going for about 25% higher than what I had anticipated. All right. And that's after I had done that video. Now the prices have always been strong, but it's realized quite the bump. But those even are drying up fast in the market. Yeah, I could be the catalyst in making these prices go up, but I'm giving you guys firsthand kind of like access to some of the coins, especially the moderns, because moderns, it's dicey to even invest in modern coins, but there are sensible modern coins that you should pay attention to. The 2015 West Point proof dime and the 2015 Philadelphia reverse proof dime are 2 that I've kept kind of like on the forefront of what I wanted to talk about eventually, and today's that day. So I hope you enjoy it. Happy hunting. Hopefully you guys are able to get one of those coins. I picked up a couple myself, here in the last 2 months, I'd say. Nothing earth-shattering. I'm not going out there and buying them all. I mean, they are still relatively affordable. I think $100 for a graded proof 70 is a screaming deal, okay? In contrast to some of the coins that you buy directly from the U.S. Mint these days, where the mintage numbers are way inflated. You have to deal with crappy U.S. Mint servers and website issues and all that stuff. So I want to thank you guys for joining in today. Again, I'm your host, Sean. It's my pleasure. I'm with BlueRidgeSilverhound. Don't forget to like, share, or subscribe. If you enjoyed today's content, make sure you hit the bell for instant notifications. And guess what? We are back open for business on Facebook. There is my name on Facebook, BlueRidgeSilverhound, space collectibles. All right, we talk about everything. Collectibles. It's all in there. We're going to talk about all sorts of great stuff. And I personally invite you, if you're into Facebook, come join us over there as well. But that's going to go ahead and do it. You guys take care. Coinaholics, we are discovering together. And I will see you on the next coin video.